Okay, we're going live. This is the first time that I have tried this. And you're liable to see dogs, and well, there better not be no cats because I don't have a cat that lives indoors anymore. There's a little chocolate behind me that you can see over my shoulder. I'm sure Two Cow is laying around here. Yeah, he's back there too. There's a little Two Cow. There's a little Choco. So they're back there too, but my big ass will keep them blocked out for a minute. Oh, there's a little Chokey. There's a little Chokey making an appearance. Hi, Chokey. That's a little Chocodoll. She loves the camera. And I'm trying this for the first time. This is the first time that I have tried this. And so we're taking questions. Hello, Keith. And I got no eye coordination. No. Hello, Adam. Hello, James. And hello, Sonia. So I don't know that I'm going to say hi to everybody. So hello, Rob. Yeah, it's a good-looking dog, isn't it? So I've never done this. I just saw this feature show up today. Hello, Jody. And Chocodoll says, well, trust me, she says hi. So I won't be typing anything because I'm not coordinated enough to do that. So as I see questions come by, we'll answer your questions. We are going to have a new bowling alley coming up next Thursday. Hello, Levi. Levi's an old buddy of mine. He's bought a shitload of merchandise. And hello to Danny. Hello to Shane. Of course I'm looking good. My God, well, what else would I look like? Yeah. I look like a liar, probably, is what I look like. There's Tommy. Hello, Tommy. Hello, Tim. And I'll say hello to as many as I can. Hello, Rob. And do I even like Rob? Yeah, I guess Rob's all right. We'll let Rob in. And health is doing good. There's a question. Hey, the first question at all these. And yeah, health is doing much better, feeling better. I got two monitors in here. I'm looking straight into one, and then my big 60-inch monitor's up above me. And then I got to look down to read, which I'm not wearing glasses. The Don Rickles of Pro Wrestling. I'll take that as an honor. As a matter of fact, I compared myself to him yesterday because he is such a insult comic and never prepared for anything. He just went with the fly, and I feel I do better with that because I'm not good with prepared material. So I do better on the fly, and I appreciate that comparison. That's an honor, especially with him just passing away yesterday. Can't wait for your book. Well, it's in the mail, so everything shipped out yesterday. Every customer that I owe something to got it shipped yesterday, except for my old buddy Armando, who's on the road for the next 30 days. So he'll get his in 30 days. When can we hear back on the experience? I don't know. That's up to Jim Cornette and his people. I would say I'll be back on soon now that I'm a WWE Hall of Fame mentionee. So now that I've got that going for me. Let's see. All hail the Hall of Fame. Thank you, Jordan. Donnie Davis. Let's see. Inducted to Hall of Fame. What's the odds on fuck Donald Trump? By the way, this will be very R-rated if I see the name Donald Trump come up. And it is a shame that he's in the Hall of Fame and I'm not. Pisses me off. The mention was great. That's from Dan Thomas. Not Danny Thomas. Danny Thomas was a famous actor and he's dead, so I'm assuming you're not him. And, yeah, I feel good. A couple of people mentioned that I look good. Still got a shitload more weight to lose, but I haven't had the weight loss surgery yet. We're looking at that in 2 or 3 months. And screw the idiots. Well, yeah, nothing wrong with screwing the idiots. Made a living on it. And hello, Edward Davis. And thank you. And let's see. You need to sit in the co-host. Yeah, I agree. I do. I need to do that. And let's see. Thank you. Brittany says I should be in the Hall of Fame. Brittany, you should be sitting on my lap when I go in the Hall of Fame. Let's just say that. And Brittany's my baby girl. I've known Brittany for quite a while. Brittany did dinner with me recently. Brittany Lennox. Beautiful young lady. Been friends for a long time. Her and my son. And I love Brittany to death. I met Lawler and Cornette this weekend. You poor soul. God damn it. And you could have met me. Ah, well. Nah, Jerry and Jimmy, my boys, so glad you got to meet them. Hopefully that went well. And I read slow as shit, so if I miss you, retype it again. You're the man, Starmaker. Well, who can argue with Marlon Mealer? I met him down in Jackson, Tennessee not too long ago, and a real nice young man. Cornette liked him, so I gave him a shot. And he's a good guy. So hello, Marlon. Do I ever talk to Randy Orton? No. So, no, I haven't talked to Randy since the Six Flags shows. We had our differences for a long time, but we're all right now. Or at least he said we was last time we met. And, well, thank you, Brittany. You're my baby. You always will be. And the thrill of meeting you, sir, it was an honor and a privilege. Well, of course. Good God. I mean, shit. But thank you. I appreciate that. What's up, King? Well, Bobby, the temperature, taxes, my blood pressure, birds, a lot of things are up. Let's see. When will you come to the Northeast? That would be never. I will never be there. Let's see. Will you ever have the best of OVW DVD by WW? I don't know. No, they're never going to put me on a best of DVD. That's why I made my own. You can get the best of BS that highlights the best 10 years of my career at OVW while we were contracted with WWE. I sell those for $16.95, and it's a 6-hour DVD. So if you don't feel it's worth it, bite me. All right. How do I sound, guys? These are the new Bolin Media microphones. I got dueling microphones today just to show off. Let me take these covers off. That's going to get a little poppy. There we go. So that's what they look like without the covers. I normally have these on because it takes away the pss and the tease, and a pop filter, more or less, is what they are. But for the sake of the day's show, we'll do without them. Who in 2017 would you make a new Bolin Services out of? Well, I'd love to start with Shinsuke Nakamura, but I guess speaking-wise, I couldn't hurt, but I think the fact that he can't speak, or at least on television, doesn't speak that great of English, works for him. I wouldn't mess with that, so I think me being with Shinsuke would only fuck him up. Where's Ma Bolin? She's in the old folks' home out in LaGrange. Went and saw her a few days ago. She's doing good, loves it out there. She gets 3 meals cooked for her a day, has all kinds of old friends. And they tell me she's running the place out there. Males and females alike bow down to Ma Bolin. So Ma's doing good. You can get the mics through me. You can order those. Just ask for the Bolin Media mics. As a matter of fact, not to piss anybody off or anything, but Vince Russo turned me on to these about a year ago. And they were $129.95 each. Well, I went through my distributor. He got me a hell of a deal if I'd buy 25 at a time. And I haven't really pushed them much on Facebook. But you can get these from me for $59.95, and it beats the hell out of $129. And they sound great, and they even sound better if you get right up on them. Y'all can probably hear the difference, especially for those of you that are listening with headphones or whatever. And if I go over here to this one's a little bassier because I've got it turned a different way. So a little bassier feel out of this one, and a little more, because there's different. If you rotate the microphones, you can get a different sound. So I've got it set up for 2 different sounds. So yeah, we're selling some microphones here today, hopefully. But they're $59.95. You can PayPal me, KennyBolin@msn.com, and just let me know what it is you're ordering, be it my book. Ta-da! There we go. That was high-pitched, wasn't it? The book, I probably screwed you too. Right now, I only have the copies left that are signed by me and Cornette, and I'm missing a shitload of questions here, so... Because I'm just terribly, I've never done this before. This is all new, and I hope you guys like it. Christopher Sean Turner, there's an asshole if you ever met one. Now, Chris has been my dear friend for many moons from out in LaGrange. I think I met him for the first time in 1990, if I remember correctly. He's been backstage with me at several shows. I've introduced him to Chris Benoit, Ric Flair, Booker T, countless others, and he used to go to the Louisville Gardens with me in Six Flags quite a bit. And Chris is a dear friend of mine. Who else we got here? Harry Burnett. Never heard of him. Jay Miller. Don't forget the Phantom Power's on, for crying out loud. You know that. I taught you about Phantom Power. You do have to have Phantom Power with these to get the best sound out of them. And that runs about $18 or $19, and it gives a power to the microphones. They will work in the computer without them, but you get the best sound if you just spend another $18 or $19. Thank you, Harry. Appreciate you. Keith Coble, talk about long-time old friend. How you doing, Keith? Keith used to work with me back at Kroger. I started there in '79, and Keith was the shop steward there, the union steward that was hired to keep you out of trouble. Well, that never worked so well for me, because I eventually got fired from there. But, oh well, shit happens. But no, Keith is a long-time old buddy of mine. Hope you're doing well, because Keith has had his health issues as well. But we're both still kicking and hanging in there. So hello to my old buddy Keith. Steve Spradlin, would you return to manage Jerry Lawler? In one time I would. As a matter of fact, this almost happened. Jimmy Cornette suggested this in a match. I think it was going to be in Virginia, West Virginia, one of those, and it was suggested, but something happened, and Jerry Lawler could not make the show, so we backed out of it. But yeah, I was going to manage Jerry Lawler against Jimmy Cornette, and I forgot who he was managing, but it would have been the only time in my entire career that I ever managed Jerry Lawler. Yeah, and you can also get the Beats by Bolin microphones. Now, these are the Monster Diamond Tiers I've got on today. These some bitches cost like $400 and something when they come out, and a sponsor of the show bought them for me, so I don't sell these. But for $400, I figure out to throw them on my head every now and then. But I also have the Beats by Bolin, which thousands of you out there have. Let's see. Have you run into the... I have not run into the McDonald's mark again. I'm looking good. I know Dennis. I know I look good. Dennis is an old friend of mine from down in E-Town, and he's bought a bunch of my merchandise. As a matter of fact, he owns both of my ring jackets that had King B on them, that were members-only jackets, and he's the only person that owns those. He has them, and I don't. He bought them from me a long time ago when I got even fatter and couldn't wear them anymore. Well, I've lost some weight. There's my sweet love of my life, Evangeline Bolin, if that name looks familiar to you. I did not know that she could pick me up on video here. So hello, Lena, the sweet love of my life. She is in the Philippines, and hoping to be with her this coming October or November. And I'm glad you got to see this, Lena. I didn't know that if the internet over there can be very weak, and it's tough to pick up the signal sometimes. So glad Lena's tuned in and watching. I guess I can't flirt with anybody now. So sorry, Brittany. Lena will put an end to that. She'll whip somebody's ass. So no flirting with anybody. I didn't know Lena was keeping an eye on me. So, and I love you, Lena, and I will see you soon. And Lena, if you have any questions, feel free. Have you ever been to a Korean barbecue? I have not. It sounds good, though. I like barbecue. I don't have that. And like I said, if I miss your question, retype it. Because I'm not going to scroll back up here, and I don't even know if I can. Yeah, it does. All right. Well, I'm not going to, because I get lost enough as it is. Do you talk to Ron Waterman? I talk to him on Facebook from time to time. Haven't seen him in forever. I told Lawler, thank you for sending King B the crown. He laughed and pointed to the crown on the table and told me, you tell him this is the real one. All right. Well, I guess the king might have had two of them. I don't know. But that's funny. Thank you for that. I didn't know that you did that. So that's funny. Damn it, King. King had a backup crown, I guess. Let's see. If WWE inducted you into the Hall of Fame, yeah, right. Do you think it would be John Cena, Jim Cornette, or Jerry Lawler? It would be an honor if any of them did, but I really don't talk to Cena anymore. He's too big and famous for us and too busy. Danny Davis told me he hadn't heard from him in years and years. So it would just about have to be Cornette, even though it would be an honor to have Lawler do it. King, what a great idea. You're looking spry. Is that German? Is that English? I don't know. But thank you, Christy. And yeah, I think it's a great idea too. Great way to communicate with everybody. And I've never done this. Eric Major needs more Maya. Bite me, Eric. And Maya's on the road. They're in Little Rock, Arkansas this week doing their bridal shows. So she and my son are in Little Rock. And let's see, Christopher Sean Turner, you made Cena. Well, yeah, I made Cena. Hell, I think we all know that. Where's Maya and Catbox? They're in Arkansas, Harry. I just said that. Keep up with me here, boy. I say keep up with me, boy. And let's see, the show needs more Maya. Good Lord, Eric. Thoughts on tag team wrestling? Not overly impressed. I mean, I fell asleep on the damn one at WrestleMania until the Hardy Boys come out, and then that put some life into it. So that was some fun. Let's see. You should do this often. Well, I plan to. We'll do this a little more often. Thank you for that, Lewis. Richard, if I send you your book to autograph, would a nice Subway gift card suffice? Well, it depends on how big the gift card is, but we could probably work out a deal on that. If there's a couple of Subway sandwiches in there, we could probably work that out. Cheap bastard. Why didn't you buy it from me to begin with? Crying out loud. Let's see, what else we got here? Like I said, if I miss your question, rewrite it. Do you know what's going on with Sandow? Yes, I do. Evangeline, hello, my cute honey. Barney, oh my God, she just called me Barney the dinosaur. Well, I will scroll back and see what she said, or I'll be in big trouble. Call me her panda bear. Love you, sweetest bear Kenny. I miss you so much. Well, I miss you too, my dear. And love my Lena. And once again, any of you out there thinking you can steal me from Lena, behave yourselves. Lena's my baby bear. And it is so weird to have Lena watching me do a live video, because this is the first time she's ever been able to do that, and she's watching me from 8,400 miles away. So, for my sweet Lena. Let's see, the Star Maker mentioned in the Hall of Fame made my night. Made mine too. That really lit my Twitter up when that happened, so thank you for that, Dave. Good thing Harry Burnett isn't running. Oh, Harry, they're shooting on you, Harry, for crying out loud. You wouldn't be able to hear me. You wouldn't be able to see me. Everything would be fucked up if Harry were doing this. Is that what you're saying? Well, Harry, they're starting some shit with you. Nick, let's see, looking to have you back on the radio. Well, James Lowe. That was one of the most fun shows I've ever done. I had a blast doing James Lowe's show. For those of you that haven't heard it, you got to. And when the kid from Maine calls in, I ate that little bastard alive. So you got to tune in and then get to the part where the kid from Maine comes in. And we'll be back with you soon, James. I had a blast, and I'm looking forward to doing your show again. It's on YouTube now if you want to look it up. Just look up James Lowe, Kenny Bolin. No, type in the name you go by, Jiggy Jaguar, I think is what it is. Look up Jiggy Jaguar, Kenny Bolin, and you'll find us. I'm kidding, Harry. Now Wayne's backing down. He's doing the heel back down now is what he's doing. What are you using to stream to? It's a new feature that went on Facebook. Apparently, the first time I've ever seen it today, I got a notification on it, and it says go live. Now, you could do this on a cell phone forever, and I just never bothered to do it. But now that I can do it on my home computer, which is where I prefer to do this shit at, because it's just more comfortable for me. So now that I have this, we'll do this more often. This might replace the bowling alley. This might be the new bowling alley. Morgan, Rico's doing good from last I heard, but I need to follow up with him because he told me he had to go to a cancer center for some evaluations, and I haven't been able to follow up with him yet. So hopefully no bad news. I guess if there's bad news, I'd have heard it by now, but I need to follow up with him on that. Gregory, let's get a plug in. Oh, yeah, okay. Good idea, Gregory Manuel. We're doing the buffet with Bolin, 2. With Jimmy Cornette. We're both Hall of Famers now. Jim's a Hall of Famer inductor, and I am a Hall of Fame mentionee. So we both have WWE Hall of Fame attached to our credits now. We're doing this April the 29th, 3 p.m. at the Golden Corral. Probably go for about 3 hours or so. Both of us will have a little bit of merchandise there to sell. And after the show, and you get a free buffet dinner. 25% of the proceeds go to help the Camp Corral kids to raise money for the children of fallen soldiers, and the rest of the money that doesn't have to go for appearance fees and paying Golden Corral for letting us do this, that goes to me to help me with my medications that are not covered by my insurance. So we're killing several birds with one stone here, and so you're not only helping me, you're helping the Camp Corral kids, and they get 25% of the ticket sales right off the top. No taxes, no nothing, just flat 25% goes straight to them. And I'll get some of whatever's left over. So, and then plus we have to pay for your all's meals, and you get an all-you-can-eat, not only lunch buffet when you get there, but all-you-can-eat steak dinner after 4 p.m. So for a lot of you out there who are big pigs and are just going to come and eat for 3 or 4 hours, then that's going to work out real good for you, because you get $35 worth of food for a $39.95 ticket to come see me and Jimmy. So, and I just missed a shitload of questions explaining all this to you. But that is April the 29th, 3 p.m., the Golden Corral on Taylorsville Road here in Louisville. Jim and I will be there. We've got about 25 tickets left, so if you want them, I'd act quickly. I know a lot of you people wait to the last damn minute. I wish we'd have sold it out on day one. And you can get those by PayPaling me. Just identify that it's for the dinner. $39.95. PayPal me that at Kenny Bolin at msn.com. And if you guys have any trouble hearing me, I don't think, because I'm monitoring them through the headphones, monitoring them, and it sounds fine on this end, so hopefully it sounds good with you guys. And I just missed a shitload of questions, so if you ask me something, ask it again. You've worked with a lot of folks in the wrestling business over the years. Is there anyone in the business you still get starstruck when you meet them? Probably two. The Undertaker, who I worked with at a Louisville Garden show, and obviously Stone Cold Steve Austin. That was one of the most fun shows I ever did, was me and Rico doing a bit with Steve Austin. And I'm still a little starstruck by them. I mean, they're a couple of big deals in the business. Steve has been very good to me and my son. I mean, he don't treat me like I should treat him like he's a star. He treats me like a friend. And Taker's a little more, he's a little more put offish, I guess. He don't really socialize or talk a whole hell of a lot. Not like me. Hell, Austin took my son to Prince, sat on a picnic table with him in Cincinnati, and they talked bullshit for an hour and a half, and none of it was about wrestling. Just various bullshit, and he loved my son and has been real good to us. Clear as a bell, they said. Great, glad the sound's good. It's good. Order some microphones. These are great for Skype. They're good for podcasting. If you Skype with people and you got shit sound. And like I said, these can sound better because when you get up close, it gets a little bit more of that FM radio sound. And this one here's got a little different, because I've got it turned another way to give me a little bit different sound. So, yeah, I can't say enough about how good these microphones are. And hopefully, if you want to improve your sound on your Skyping, podcasting, or whatever you do, I hope you'll order some from me. I've got a few left in stock, and if the demand is high enough, I'll order some more, and it takes me a couple of weeks to get them out. Let's see. Do I talk to James Mitchell? Yeah, I talk to James Mitchell all the time, mainly on Facebook. I've done an interview with him here a while back that's on YouTube that I think people would be entertained by. Kyle Reber, you asshole. Kyle Reber tried to beat me up in the ring once because shit went south in the ring between me and Cornette, and it looked like Reber took Cornette's side in the deal. But Reber's bought a lot of merchandise from me, a lot of books. He says he's coming to the corral thing. I think you've already paid for your ticket, Kyle, if I remember, so I guess you better show up. So spread the word and let's get those other 25 or 30 tickets sold. We want to squeeze a few people in and get a full house for this thing. Any thoughts on James Mitchell? I love James Mitchell. He's one of my he says I'm his favorite manager. He thinks I should have been way more famous than I was. Said I was better than he was. Says I was better than Cornette, and he's told Cornette that. So he's been very complimentary to me, and he really likes me a lot, and I like him a little bit. So I guess that works out. Let's see. What's there to do in Louisville? I'm going to be there for 2.5 days. Figure it out. You're going to come see me for a good chunk of that time. And, you can see the bat, where the bat factory is, Churchill Downs, Louisville Slugger Field, where the Louisville Bats play. There's plenty to do here. You shouldn't be twiddling your thumbs too much. We'll give you more advice later. Wile E. Coyote. No, that's Willie Kelly. King, thank you. Wrestling can go back to the way. Okay, well, his thing went away, but you're welcome, Will. Will come up here from Atlanta and did a multiple-day interview with me that'll probably be seen in 2025 because he's writing some big-ass book or something, and we'll hear and see those things eventually. But I spent about 3 days with him, and he bought me dinner every night, so I got to be very nice to him. Let's see. Love my dogs. I love my dogs, too. Chocodoll probably come up here and do some... Come here, Chocodoll. Choky, you want to come up here? Come here, Chocodoll, because Chocodoll, she's not camera shy at all. Here she is. Here's little Chocodoll. She's my little... If I can figure out which damn microphone to move. That's little Chocodoll. This is my son's dog, but she stays with me when they're on the road. And little Choky is not camera shy at all. She's a little baby. She's a little baby. And she's a pretty good girl. She likes to sleep on those pillows back there, and she'll take all 6 of them and position them the way she wants and lays on those pillows. Okay, you're free to go if you want. You're free to go. You want to go back to bed? Okay. And 2 cows back there sleeping. There he is. You see him? He's over my shoulder. Well, that's a little 2 cow. And they get more use out of this bed than I do. I can promise you that. All right, and back to bed she goes. So little Chocodoll made her appearance. And 2 cow, you never know. He may come. Jeff likes the mics. Well, good. Order something. You haven't secretly invited Vince Russo to go. I have not. Just to keep the peace, I have not done that. Your thoughts on JR calling Taker's last match? I thought it was good. Okay, hopefully we're back up. It said bad to a bad wireless connection. Well, I've got that 200 megabyte internet. It's the second best they've got that they offer, so I don't know how the hell that could have been bad. And I'm hardwired. I don't even go off Wi-Fi. So let's see. Owen Hart thoughts. Owen was a dear friend of ours, especially with my son. He loved my son. Great friend of ours. He was always the first to greet us in the back whenever we went to WWE shows, and was really just a hell of a guy. Got a touch of a cold here, guys. So just bear with me. Oh, no hiding from a live camera, is there? And but no, Owen was a great guy. He was always a pleasure to deal with, and I miss him so much. I never cried harder than I did when Owen passed away, and my son did too. And it's still hard to even hear anything about that video or how he died, because he was just too damn good of a guy. Bret Hart did not think as highly of. He was a bit of a prick to everybody when he was around. Didn't get along with Bret, and especially Cornette didn't. I hear he's better now. Jim and Bret have worked a few shows together since then, a couple. And so I hear he's better now, but back then he was just such an ass, and so was Shawn Michaels. Do you have any fond memories of West Virginia? No. It covers that. Let's see. You didn't answer my question. Thanks to wrestling, ever go back? No, it'll never go back to the way it was. We're fucked. So that answers that question. And like I said, if I don't see your question, rewrite it, because I'm not going to scroll and find all these things, or I'll really get lost. I'm just not good at this. Christian Nault, Starmaker, did you ever hear John Cena ask Cornette about you? No, I don't know if he did or not. Probably not. Not that I heard of. I will be there and bringing a +1. Did you buy 2 tickets? You better have. If not, you owe me some money. Please bring those free lap dance. Okay, I'll bring the lap dance tickets with me. If that'll get you there with a +1, I'll do that. I've got a few of those left. Do you think Brian Pillman will ever go in? I don't know. That's a hard one to call, because if he ain't in now, it makes you wonder if they're questioning that. So I don't know. Enough about the Kroger meat opportunity. I call it a meat opportunity. Cena sucks. Yeah, a lot of people say that. Any plans of any OVW returns? No. It had been talked about once, but due to something that Danny Davis and Dean Hill would not support me with concerning Rico, I'm done with them, and it takes some act of God to get me back, and I don't see that act happening. People sad about the Taker? Yeah, people are sad, but goddamn, we only wrestled once a year for the last 5 years anyway. I should get quarterly checks from Mr. Cena. You're right, I should, but I don't. That was my old buddy Hag Haggerty up in Canada, probably my biggest Canadian fan from what people tell me. He's the one telling me. The great Brian Last. Nice stream, good, until we lost everybody there for a second, but we're back on now. Owen Hart thoughts, I gave that earlier. Greetings from Canada from Tim. Hey, Tim, how you doing? I have to look down here to read, so pardon me for not looking into the camera. I will be in Louisville in May. I would like to take you to dinner. Will you be available? Yes. So contact me when you get here. You just offered me dinner. Have you had any dealings with Jake? You mean Jake the Snake Roberts? No. Jake from State Farm. I'm with State Farm, so I guess I have. Gary Cummings, my friend, longtime brother. Glad to see you getting better. I've never heard of you, Gary Cummings. Who the hell are? Yeah, I know Gary. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate it. Nick Hensley, my bad buddy. Yeah, maybe. Would you ever do comedy? Never. I'm not funny, and I don't try to be. Thoughts on underrated worker? There's too many to mention. Would you ever do comedy? Already answered that. Any favorite match? Yes, Jerry Lawler, Terry Funk. And then again, Jerry Lawler, Terry Funk in the empty Coliseum match. I made fun about that about a Reds game yesterday. Cena told Jimmy he knew you would now charge more. Yes, I will. Cena said that? Is this documented? I never heard this. But I will. My autograph just went up from $10 to $12.50. So on a scale of 10 to 10, 10 being great, how great of a production as host person was Harry Burnett? We'll see. 10 being the lowest and 10 being the highest. I'd probably have to give you a 9.9 just for the audio fuck-ups. Russell, what's the latest with the bowling alley? Really, I haven't made enough posts on here. Did you know what the latest with the bowling alley is? Joe Cronin's the host now. He just had a a massive video set up and already had like 45,000 subscribers to his deal. So, and plus he gave us, he got some sponsors for us and gave us a way to make a little bit of money, and ain't a shitload of money, but it's a little bit. And so that's why we're over with him now. And plus Harry had a lot on his plate anyway. So Harry and my son are going to be doing shows coming up here real soon. So contact Harry Burnett and he'll let you know when that'll be. Missing a shitload of questions. Memories of Lesnar, all bad. Let's see. Cena said it on Jimmy's podcast. I didn't know that Cena was on Jimmy's podcast. When did this happen? And send me a link to it. Ever coming to Missouri? Better chance of me going to Missouri than going to New York. I don't know what would get me there, but I won't rule it out. Michael Coffey, did you get your Hall of Fame ring yet? No, but if they don't get me one, I will. So I'll have one soon. I'd rather them pay for it, though. Glad to see you doing better. Michael Coffey, as a matter of fact, my son was named after Michael. Michael and I went to school together from 3rd grade on. I even remember girlfriends he had that he doesn't remember because I wanted them and he had them. Misty Crisp, if you're out there, Michael. You had Michael. And I went, well, I think that all worked out for the best. So, and I can assure you Misty Crisp is not listening tonight. But Michael, my son was named after him, and Jimmy Cornette. So my 2 best friends in the whole wide world were Michael, who's my longest friend, and then Jimmy, because we've just had the most contact with each other over the last 40 years. Jim and I have been best friends now for 40 years. So that means me and Michael have been best friends 45, 46 years, I guess. Maybe a little longer. But yeah, we've been friends since 3rd grade. My dearest, and never had a crossword with either Jimmy other than on the shows, or Mike Coffey. And that long of time, never a crossword. And Mike and I have stayed in pretty good contact with each other over the years, too. So don't know if Mike knows how much he means to me. Herbert Richard, another old buddy of mine. How you doing, Herbert? Nice to see you. Herbert and I used to be business partners together. We won't go into what that business was. It wasn't drug related, so we'll just leave it at that. Cena talked to Jimmy. Well, everybody I don't get to read it, so Uncle Kenny, glad to see you. All right, how you doing there, Randon Bolin? A lot of people, since they thought I got rich, took the name Bolin trying to hit me up for money. I put Jim's podcast on pause to watch this. Well, bless your heart. You think you made a wise choice is all I can tell you. Ric Flair thoughts. Rick lost a $1,000 bet to me back in 1986 on Louisville Cardinals, North Carolina, playing in the NCAA tournament. And Louisville played them and beat them by 20-something points. And the reason I made that $1,000 bet with Rick is that he bet me $1,000 to my 100. So I took the 10-to-1 odds, and then Rick tried to back out of paying me, but Bobby Eaton at the airport made him pay because he saw the bet go down. And Rick and I have been friends for a long time, not as close as Cornette and Rick are, but Rick and I have had a long-time relationship since 1980, probably 84. We made the bet in 86. Jimmy introduced me to him at a TBS wrestling show. Yeah, Herbert doing better. Glad to see you on here. I hadn't seen you in forever. So hello, Herbert, and Sinkhorn, if he's out there floating around. Kyle, you need publicity recognized that was part of Bolin Services. You misspelled Bolin, you moron. How long you know me, Kyle, and you misspelled Bolin? Yeah, I need you doing my publicity. Misspelled my damn name. But yeah, doing much better. I changed my name to yours. Yeah, there's Kenny Bolin on there. That's not me, guys. I'm not writing myself. That's a Kenny Bolin. If I ain't mistaken, Kenny lives in the Evansville, Paducah area, maybe. If I'm wrong, correct me. But I don't think Kenny lives here. But I see Kenny from time to time. And he saw how much fun I was having under the name Kenny Bolin, so I guess he decided to do the same. But that is not me writing myself. I just want to, you see, I'm not typing. So that's the other Kenny Bolin. Like a possum used to be known as the other yellow meat. Well, Kenny is the other Kenny Bolin. And I hope he's making a lot more money with it than I am. Donna, who's worse, Vince Russo or Donald Trump? I like Vince Russo. It's Cornette's got the problem with Russo. So that would easily be Donald Trump. Matter of fact, I can't think of anybody that I despise worse than Donald Trump. And that even includes some people I used to work with in the wrestling business that I hated. I wasn't the biggest fan of Bush, but I would pay George Bush's salary if he would come back and take over for Trump. if that tells you how bad I hate that fucking idiot. So let's not make this too political. I'd like to keep half of you liking me. Kitty got a kick out of what I said. Phil Stokes, when you back on the Experience? I don't know. I would think soon. I'm sure they want to talk about, a WWE Hall of Fame mentionee. There's not a lot of those around. I might be the only one. So I think he'd want me back on the show real soon. And plus his ratings, 5 of his top 6 rated shows are me. And the only show that ever beat me was Stone Cold Steve Austin. So I can deal with that. Eric Bischoff thoughts. Well, Jimmy and Eric are apparently now buddies because they both hate Russo. I personally like Russo. I talk on the phone with Vince Russo probably once every couple of weeks. We're planning on having dinner soon. He's going to come here. I'm going to go there. And we're going to rotate that about every other month. So I got no problems with Russo. We had a lengthy talk, covered some of the issues him and Cornette had, and he and I get along good. Why is Tim Ash a douche? Go back and listen to some old Cornette shows, and you'll know why Tim Ash is a douche. Too long to get into here, but he cost me a lot of fucking money. Lennings or Clarksville Seafood? Well, it was Clarksville till they pissed me off. But I won't deal with them because of some shit they pulled where they released a kid with autism when they found out he was getting paid. And he's a relative of one of the people that works there. And they let him go because they found out he was getting paid when new ownership took over. And it's all relative shit. And when I mean relative, I mean they're all relatives. And anybody that a little kid go with autism, due to we're paying him, can kiss my ass. And they were rude to me. They were rude to my family. The new owners were. I'll never fucking eat there again. And so when it comes to that, I mean, whose fish is better? It was Clarksville's. But that tells you how firm of a stand I'm making here. I ate there for free for many, many years. And when you treat a kid like that, fuck you. I ain't going to participate in your business anymore. So that's why I don't eat there. And a lot of my other friends will not eat there anymore either. So, but that is why. Now, whether they ever hired that kid back or not, they went out of business for like 4 months. Claimed they were doing remodeling, but the talk was they were remodeling for 3 days and would open back up. They opened up about 4 or 5 months later. So, no, you'll never see me in there again unless that new owner goes away, and I don't see any signs of that. So as long as that owner's there, I'll never set foot in there again. So that's where we stand with Clarksville. Kyle was driving and typing. Likely story, Kyle, but I'll accept it. Because I can't even sit here and type, more or less drive and type. Hey, you're texting and driving, you asshole. You're a fireman. For crying out loud. Pull over and arrest yourself. Turn yourself into the state police. Texting and driving, it's worse than drunk driving, son. Now, you just admitted it on Facebook. You're a smart guy. What the hell are you doing? Pull over, turn yourself into the police, and if you got any handcuffs, cuff yourself and walk into the J-Town police station. All right. Now you see how I feel about 2 things. How's the King's love life? Well, she was just on here chatting with me, so I guess this is still going pretty good. I didn't see that she broke up with me on here. That would be embarrassing as shit. Do I like barbecue ribs? I like barbecue more than I like ribs. But I love good pulled pork barbecue. Just had some last night, as a matter of fact. Gems of wrestling. I don't know if that's a question or a statement, but okay. Maybe you think I'm a gem. Well, if that's so, thank you. From Liam. Hadn't heard from Liam in a while. Hag Haggerty. That was gold. Well, I don't know what that was. Because remember, I'm not seeing all these questions. Have you ever met Sting? Yes. Wasn't that big a deal. Any thoughts on Al Snow? Al and I are old buddies. We've been friends for a long time. Haven't had a lot of contact with him since I left OVW, but Al and I were fine. We did pretty good together. And him and my son had a couple of issues a time or two, booking issues at OVW. But no, I like Al. I got no problems with him. He's a good guy. Any thoughts on Al Snow? Just read that. Another one on Al. Everybody wants to know about Al Snow. I offered a contract to manage Roman Reigns. Would you accept it? It'd have to be a hell of a goddamn contract. Alice Radley. Well, we ran her off and she hid and she did a damn good job because I haven't heard a word from her since she left. Oh, God, Lena's kissing my tummy. That's how my love life is. Lena's still kissing my tummy. Thank you, Lena. Thank you for kissing my tummy in front of Couple of 373 comments. So, let's see. How is your relationship with Paul Heyman? I don't hate Paul. I just don't get his booking. His booking in the South did not work. His shit don't work in Philadelphia, and our shit would not work there. And I tried to explain that to him for several months. He never caught on. So I went away for a few months until WWE fired him, and then I went back to OVW. So wasn't that I didn't like him. It's just his shit wasn't working here, and I didn't want to be a part of it. How's my relationship with Heyman? Happy birthday. I've already wished Flash Flanagan a happy birthday, and he wrote me back. So, yeah, Flash Flanagan's birthday was yesterday. Thoughts on Hulk Hogan? I have a story I've told about me and Hulk Hogan from back when he was in Memphis. Here is Terry Boulder. Go back and listen to some old bowling alleys. You'll hear that, or I'll tell it again soon. Too long a story to get into here. Stephanie McMahon, still a cunt. Well, you got a question mark by it. I thought she was making a statement. I don't have any particular use for Stephanie anymore. Jimmy may have caved a little bit because he just did the show. And if I'm going to be there visiting Jimmy, should Jimmy get inducted next year, which I'm predicting he will, I guess I better calm down on the Stephanie shit, or they might not want me in the building. So we'll calm down on that until after, because I don't want to cause Jim any trouble if he does get inducted next year. Thoughts on Austin Idol? Great guy. We're friends on Facebook. My son's favorite, he said Austin Idol should have had the Hogan run, that he was better talented, a better wrestler, and a better entertainer. And I agree. I think overall, Idol probably overall was better than Hogan and probably should have had that run instead. But, Hogan was a lot bigger physically, and I guess fit the bill for what they wanted to run with. You can't really say that Hogan didn't have some magic about him, so it worked pretty good. Page videos, I've seen them. Glad that ain't my girlfriend. I'm glad I got Lena. Pretty sure Lena ain't got no videos out there like that. Right, Lena Bear? And let's see, your buddy Flash joined your live feed. Oh, did he? I didn't see him in. Hello, Flash. I didn't see the junior. Flash was, I managed him at IWA, which I don't even like to admit that I was there, but I did, and managed him there, and never managed him at OVW in the 17 years I was there, and never really even had a running feud with him. Rico did a little bit, but no, somehow Flash and I just did not really cross paths much in OVW, and how that happened I'll never know, because he was a babyface a good chunk of the time he was there, and of course I was always the heel, but no, never happened. How about that piece of shit Thieneman? Kevin Thieneman, another one of my longtime, old-time friends. We've been friends since 1990 when I worked at Humana together. And Terry Funk cut one of the goddamnedest promos on Kevin Thieneman, never meeting him, just hearing his name. And I asked him, here will you say a few friends to my friend Kevin Thieneman? He's my supervisor at work. He was then. We put an end to that shit later. But he cut a promo on Thieneman and basically called him Thieneman and said he was a laxative. And he said, that's right, Kevin Thieneman, you're the drizzling shits. And then Jimmy Cornette walked by and leaned in and went, fuck you, Thieneman, and stole the whole goddamn promo that Funk had just done. And I've got it on videotape. Me finding it would be 1 in a million. It's in a storage shed. And goddamn, I'd love to see that again. Kevin had it, and I think he lost it. So shame on Kevin. Let's see. Johnny Jeter. How you doing, Johnny? Johnny Jeter, one of the all-time OVW greats, and had a great run in the WWE. Was in there with the Spirit Squad, and one of the top wrestlers we ever had here. He was talented as shit, and I love Johnny to death. And hello, Johnny. I'm flattered you're even in here listening to this shit. Why did you never recruit me to Bolin Service? Because you were too good to be with me. That's why. That's why I got Mike Mondo instead. I got the shittiest one of the Spirit Squad, so I took Mondo. They made me take Mondo. I was laughed at for taking Mondo, that he was going to kill my streak of putting people into the WWE. And then that little shit went up there and had a good run and has done okay in the ROH. And but yeah, Jeter, you were too good for me. The fans liked you too much, even though you got one of the biggest heel responses ever in OVW history when you and Dean Hill got into it. So yeah, Johnny's one of my old buddies, and pardon me, I'm just dealing with a little bit of a cold here. Would you go manage Shinsuke Nakamura? I love Shinsuke. He's the only reason I even remotely like wrestling at all anymore. I had tears in my eyes when he finally made SmackDown. I've watched him on NXT. I'll watch anything that I hear that he's a part of. His entrance makes him like Steve Austin. Steve Austin's not the same guy without his music. I think most people would agree with me on that. And Shinsuke has got the entrance. He's got the look. He's got the work. In my opinion, he is going to be the biggest star that SmackDown's got. I don't know if they're going to make him face or heel. He can do either one. It looks now he's going to be a face. So that would be my guess. I'd love to see him and Cena work a match or two. But I'd love to see Shinsuke work anybody. And I also love Asuka. I called her Asuka forever. But Asuka is great. And it should be a Japanese takeover. They are both fucking great. It's good to be the king. I love you too, Kevin, and it is good to be the king. It's always been good to be the king. It was good to be the king when I ran Kroger. It was good to be the king when I ran the mortgage business. It was good to be the king when I ran Humana, even though you were my supervisor. And it was good to be the king when I was running the wrestling business around here at OVW for quite some time. So, and I love Kevin to death. Kevin, I love you like a brother. That would be a lie because I hate my fucking brother. Alrighty, so would I ever do TV again? I don't see how, because it would have to be close, and I've already said I won't do OVW anymore. They really broke my heart when they refused to help Rico, and there's a statement called "the enemy of my, the friends of my." I've done fucked it up. So Jimmy applies it to him and Bischoff being friends with Russo. And I forgot how the saying goes, and so I'm not even trying. But I think some of you out there know what I mean. But I don't see how that would happen. Have I ever met Dean Ambrose? No, and I don't get him. I don't get the what popularity he had. Apparently that popularity is, according to the booking committees, in the shitter right now because he curtain jerked on the pre-show and wasn't even in. And it was a title match. And he was in the pre-show of WrestleMania. And he was the world champion about a year or two ago. So he has dropped off the radar, at least as far as the booking committee, and I don't get him. I don't get the popularity that he even did have, but apparently that has took a hit. Kentra, NXT thoughts. I don't really know anything about Kentra. I mainly watch Asuka and Shinsuke, and if it ain't them, I don't really see it. Why wouldn't they help Rico? I'll have to go into that at a later time. I don't know why. Well, I do. They heard a rumor that Rico had said or did something at WWE, which was bullshit. And myself and Mark Henry and Jackie and various others know it was bullshit. And but for whatever reason, Danny and Dean wanted to think about whether they would help Rico or not, and they needed to consider that. He's a brother. He's fallen, and I don't care if it's you, Flash. I don't care if it's any OVW talent who is fighting for their life, especially here I am 57 now. Rico's just a year younger than me. And the WWE wouldn't help him. The cops wouldn't help him. Well, goddamn it, there's enough of us in the wrestling business. I mean, I personally, by getting the word out there about him, combined with some other help, we raised him $10,000. That not only really helped save his life and got him on the medications he needed, but financially helped him a lot to get his mortgage paid, to get his car payments paid, to put food in his house. He was eating tuna once a day. He was in bad shape. And he's the brother. And I'm not looking at anybody's questions right now, so if you're asking them, you'll have to ask me again. But he's a brother. And unless that brother has fucked us over in some way, which God knows Rico didn't, Rico really carried wrestling around here at OVW and was the showcase babyface for quite some time, and then one of the top heels for quite some time, just like yourself. And there's another one that I don't think too highly of right now that you feuded with, so I won't mention his name. But no, if you were fighting for your life and someone said, well, Flash Flanagan did such and such, or he was supposed to have done such and such, so we're not going to help him. Well, fuck you. You're now on my shit list, and so yeah, that's why they're on my shit list. We love Rico. I love Rico too. Screw the effing BS. Rico is awesome. There you go. I agree with you. Perry Saturn thought, not really, because I never worked with him, didn't know much about him. Cornette would probably be more qualified to give you thoughts on him. than I would. Rico's one of the nicest guys you will ever. Exactly. That was from Flash Flanagan. Rico is the nicest guy you will ever meet. Kenny has the best 3-point jumper I've ever seen. I haven't used that shot in quite some time, but I was a hell of a basketball shooter. Wasn't the best ball handler. Any jokes and you'll be off of here. But I certainly loved playing basketball and was one hell of a 3-point shooter. Rowdy Ron, another one of my old-time friends. OVW wouldn't even help me buy a bag of M&M when I needed them. Probably not. I didn't know you needed a bag of M&Ms, or I would have helped. But Rowdy Ron used to be on the show. He played my attorney, Thurston Throckmorton, on the old OVW shows, and Ron and I have been friends for a long time. Wicks or Bear Nose? Bear Nose. Chris Benoit. I love Chris Benoit. He was good to me. He was good to my family. He was good to the fans. He would stay over after Six Flags shows and sign autographs to people that had driven down from Canada to meet him. Hell of a fucking guy. And the guy who went out the way he did, I didn't know that guy. As a matter of fact, he had called Idol Stevens the day that happened and had planned on being in Louisville to work with the guys and said to tell the boys, look forward to seeing them and we'll have some fun tomorrow. That was hours before the crime was committed. So something happened between 1 o'clock and the time this shit went down with Benoit. But I never met that Benoit. He was a class act to me, man. And I can't tell you how highly I thought of Chris Benoit. One of my favorite people I ever met. And I can only comment on the guy I knew. I did not know this other situation. Thoughts on Broken Hardy gimmick? Does that answer your question? I like Flash during the WWF lightweight division. Yes, I recall that. Flash had a nice little run there. How you doing? Timothy, really? You're going to ask me how I'm doing? The video should speak for itself. I'm doing fine, Timmy. Chris Jericho thoughts. Love Chris Jericho. He donated $3,000 to Rico when other assholes wouldn't step up. When no one else, to my knowledge, in the WWE stepped up. We raised that $10,000 with Chris Jericho, the Cauliflower Alley Club, myself, and countless others chipping in a little here and there, and many of my fans chipped in. Many people that didn't even know Rico, people that had never met him, people in Australia that had never met him sent big money. A talk show host in Louisiana sent me $300 for Rico. But Jericho was the only big name that stepped up. Idol should be still on WWE. Idol had a hell of a run on WWE, better than, in my opinion, than he had in TNA, and I agree with you. Idol should still be on WWE. He was one of the most entertaining people they had. Don't ask me what happened, because I can't figure it out. Kenny is the best manager ever. If you mean Kenny Bolin, I agree with you. As a matter of fact, I've even want to debate Jimmy on why I was a better manager than he was. And I've got a long list of reasons why, and he knows that they make sense. I don't know that he'll ever agree to that debate. But I have stated it on other shows, and I'll do it again on an upcoming Bolin Alley soon. Was Batista as big of a dick as Corny makes him out to be? Yes. He and I didn't get along either. He thought that I was hitting on his wife because I said she was cute and that I'd rather her go to the Cincinnati Reds game with us than him. It was in a joking manner, but Batista wasn't known much for jokes and made a big fucking issue out of it. And I said, Batista, you'll never have to worry about that again. And I never spoke another word to that motherfucker until I hit him in the back of the head with a briefcase. And trust me, I put every ounce of what I had into that because I knew it was going to be the only shot I ever got. Yeah, I love Chris Jericho, Nick. He's the best. And truly is. Just a class fucking act, man. He's great. Best, well, that question went away. Best Kings in Wrestling. Gabrielle, we heard you're sleeping with an old girl named Misty. Is that true? Yes, it is true. I've been sleeping with a girl named Misty, a.k.a. Moo Cow. She's 17 years old, my loving Labrador, and I was sleeping with her just last night. Sorry, Lena, but Kenny was sleeping with Misty, a.k.a. Moo Cow. So, yeah, Gabrielle, my ex-wife there, guys, Gabrielle Nadinger. Is that a weird name? Wasn't Gabrielle? I'm surprised you didn't stay with Bolin, Gabrielle. But no, Misty is my sweet love of my life, just like Lena Bear. I love my Misty, and she's asleep in the living room under her favorite blankets right now, and she's still doing pretty good for 17. Her vision is fucked, but she's doing good. Who was worse, Batista or Brock? Got to give the edge to Brock because he could do a lot more damage. Supposedly Brock and I are fine now. Danny Davis loves him. He goes to see Danny from time to time. And Danny loves Brock, and he said Brock said to tell me hello last time he was here. So, okay. The show froze on my computer. Did not hear if you talked about threes. Yes, I was one. As a matter of fact, at one time I hit, at Trevecca University, I hit 88 out of 100 threes for the Trevecca University coach who wanted me to teach his team how to shoot three-pointers. I was a three-point and shooting motherfucker until I got even fatter. I did that at 275 pounds. The New Era podcast. Love that show. Travis Sloan from New Era. Loved doing their show. Had a great time with them. I was a part of their 24-hour extravaganza. I think I did 5 of the 24 hours just to be a dick. Shane McMahon thoughts. My son loves him. I think he's... The sad thing is he's probably one of the best workers they got. And it's unbelievable that the owner's son is one of the top 5 working, and probably even higher than that in the company. I like Shane personally. Miss Roddy Piper, did you ever meet him? Yes, I did. Cornette loved him. Jimmy introduced me to him at a couple of shows. He did a Louisville Garden show, and I liked Piper. He had his issues, but he was good to me. Whatever happened to Seven and Tyson? Who knows? And I didn't really have a lot of use for either one. Right, anybody you don't get a chance to meet that you wished you could have? Well, I got to work with Bobby Heenan, and god damn, that was so much fun. You talk about a fun guy to work with. And that's on my 6-hour DVD as well. That was probably one of the biggest thrills I had, even bigger than Undertaker and Stone Cold. When was the last time you saw your friend Huey Lewis look like? 97, when he packed up and moved away, unannounced. And he had some issues he was running from. And I haven't seen him since. I love talking to the fans, Jacob. I saw this thing come up today, and I just thought this would be a lot of fun. This might even be better than doing the bowling alley, because it's not quite as interactive as this. I wish I could read faster. Star Maker's a legend. Fucking Bolin. How is it going good, sir? Yeah, it's going good, Chris. Thank you, Chris Dold. And thank you for the kind words. Thoughts. I love the Honky Tonk Man. Thank you, Andrew. Glad you brought him up. I love Honky Tonk. Honky Tonk Man said Kenny Bolin may not have invented podcasts, but he perfected them. And that was one of the biggest compliments I ever got. And he had me co-host his show 2 or 3 times when he couldn't do it. And I was so shocked that his producer called me and asked me if I'd co-host for the Honky Tonk Man. I said, well, goddamn, Honky's connected with everybody. He's the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. He's a WWE, I guess he's in the Hall of Fame. And so why is he asking me? He says, Honky Tonk feels that you are the best podcast host of all of them that are out there. And I said, well, that's a hell of a goddamn compliment. And I agree with him. So I did his shows, and I love Honky Tonk Man. Favorite one-liner? I'd have to think on that. Bobby Heenan was the best manager ever. Well, I agree. I'll take second place to Bobby. How do you feel about Don Rickles' death? I was sad to hear that, because Don and I were very similar. We both love to just go on the fly and just I'm not good at one-liners. Cornette's the master of it, along with Lawler. I don't have the memory they have. Not when it comes to that shit. I remember things, I just don't remember one-liners. Love Honky Tonk Man. Sorry, autocorrect made me sound stupid. No, you did that on your own. And my sentence was almost unreadable. And no, Chris, no problems. No one types worse than I do, so you're forgiven. Do you think John Cena will break Ric Flair's record? Yes. It's destined to happen unless Cena ties him and does not want to break his record. And that's how I would be if I were approaching breaking a Jerry Lawler record or something like that. I wouldn't want to break it. Best king in wrestling, not including yourself. Well, Jerry the King Lawler. Shit, that's not even a question. But thank you for asking, Mike. How was the trip to Jerry's Barbecue Restaurant? I haven't been there yet, so I don't know. Your favorite guy today? Oh, it's Nakamura without a doubt. No one even comes close. Nakamura. The 69er one instrument. I like that one. Oh, my one-liners. Yeah, the 69er one I was pretty proud of. I like that one too. Best advice you ever received. Remember where you come from. Make eye contact with your fans. Never sign an autograph and not make eye contact with them. Be good to your fans. They'll be good. And guys, you got to remember, I was a heel my entire career. And but I knew when the show was on and I knew when the show was off. If the show's on, you got to go along with what I'm doing, or else you're disrespecting what I'm doing. You're interrupting my play. It's like going to a play and acting like you're a part of the show. But if I meet you out at Walmart or you run into me at a restaurant, if you treat me with respect, you get respect. If you want to be a dick with me and think the show's still going, then we can go there too. You will get what you give me. You give me respect, you get respect. You give me shit, you'll get shit. And I've always lived by that, and it seems to have worked out pretty good for me. I hear the Beats by Bolin products are the hottest thing in the market. Well, I don't know if they're the hottest thing in the market. They sure were for the first 4 or 5 years I had them out. But I've been so sick lately, I haven't really had a chance to promote them that much and haven't had the physical ability to handle the ordering processing. But I'm feeling much better these days. So if you like, and I now have the wireless Beats, which I've never had before. So if you're interested in those, they're $59.95. Everybody loves them. I sound like Donald Trump now. Everybody loves the Beats. The Beats are the best. The Beats are the greatest. And they're $59.95. And the real Beats version of them runs like $250 to $350, depending on what type you get. So, and the sound, guys, is pretty goddamn close. It's not far off. So if you want a good sounding pair of wireless headphones, especially for you Apple users out there, because Apple doesn't have a headphone jack anymore. They fucked you all on that one. They should have a chapter in my book, I Probably Screwed You Too, because they screwed their fans by not giving them a goddamn headphone jack, trying to force them to pay $129, $139 for their bullshit earbuds to get more money for their $800,000 phone or whatever the fuck they're charging for it. So I got no use for Apple. I'll never have one. Well, I take that back. I have an Apple iPod Shuffle, or whatever the fuck it is, but a sponsor bought it for me. I can't stand JBL play-by-play. There's a lot that don't, but I like JBL, and it's hard for me to be very critical. He's always been very good to me, was kind to me in my book. But Jimmy Cornette talks about that, I believe, on today's show. Jimmy loves JBL. Brian Last despises him. So if you want two opinions, that's a good place to go. That's the first place I'm... Okay, great, Bill Calvert there. Flash Flanagan, hey, miss you too, Flash. Happy birthday to you. Have a great one. And you were always one of my favorites to work with, man. One story about Flash Flanagan real quick. I used to come out, they labeled me the KWO. Some college kids from the University of Kentucky called us the Kenny's World Order. And they all had KWO shirts. And they looked professionally made. So I adopted that, and we started coming out to NWO music. And because I didn't give a shit. So when we head to the ring, I'm managing Flash. We're coming out to NWO music, and Flash leans down to me and says, Kenny, I've never felt like a bigger mark. And he busted me up right in front of the crowd. I'm laughing my ass off at Flash from what he had told me. And we also pretended that Flash had been on the Oprah Winfrey show and that Oprah had stolen Flash's lightweight championship belt or whatever belt it was he was battling for then. So we blamed Oprah for stealing or losing his belts. And he told me that he felt like a big mark because I came out to the NWO music. And then not long after that, we got a cease and desist, apparently from Eric Bischoff. So Ian Rotten said, and that's another name you'll never hear me say on here again. But those are my Flash Flanagan stories. What kind of music does WWE Hall of Fame mention he listened to? 70s disco. 70s disco, some 80s. A little bit of 90s, but if it's 70s disco, if it's Casey and the Sunshine Band, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Tears for Fears, I freaking love. My dream is to meet Roland Orbison, the lead singer of Tears for Fears. I love their music. And I love Macklemore. Like DNC's Cake by the Ocean, even though it's really the only song they have I like. I like it so well that it's one of my very, very favorite songs of all time, Cake by the Ocean. Do you think President Trump will complete his 4-year term? No. One way or the other, he's going. I don't know if it's going to be of his own accord. I don't know if the pressure of the job will get to him and make him quit, or if he's going to be asked to quit after all these investigations are done. They always say where there's smoke, there's fire. Well, there's a lot of goddamn smoke. So there's a hell of a fucking fire going somewhere. So no, I do not see him making the 4 years. That could just be wishful thinking on my part. George Goulas, worst wrestler of all time. Probably. Be hard for me to think of a worse one. Any Dusty stories? I do, but they're lengthy, and I'll have to tell those on the bowling alley sometime. Dusty Rhodes prevented Jimmy Cornette from being at my son the Prince's baptism, and I'll have to tell that story on the bowling alley sometime. But I will tell that one. Just somebody remind me next bowling alley. Vince McMahon thoughts. Vince did not think I was real. Vince was convinced that Jimmy was making me up. He kept hearing all these fucking stories, and then Vince met me backstage at a Freedom Hall show in Louisville. And when I walked up to him, Jimmy said, "Here's my friend Kenny Bolin." And Vince looked at me and went, "Good God, he's real." And then I said, "Hello, Mr. McMahon," making fun of one of the his stooges that used to call him Mr. McMahon Briscoe. And he says, "Oh, my God, not another one." And then my son had dinner with him backstage at catering, and that led to some issues with Tony Gurria. So I got a shitload of stories that I've probably told them before, but I'll tell them again on another bowling alley. Kenny's weird odor. Well, I guess that would have worked too, Kevin, for KWO. If I get hot and sweaty, the odor's probably not that good. So that would have worked. That would have worked too. Were you all wrestling during the big tornado outbreak in '74? No, I was fucking 14 years old. I wasn't wrestling anybody. I was probably watching a Jerry Lawler match. No, it was April 3rd. How do you feel when you met Dwayne Casey? It's Dwayne Casey, Casey and the Sunshine Band. Kevin was with me that night when I met Casey of Casey and the Sunshine Band. We got backstage passes, and Kevin was with me that night. We had third row seats, and Casey threw his towel out. I'm not going to tell you I caught the towel, but the fan that did turned to me and said, "Here, you deserve this more than I do. You know every word of every fucking song. This is your towel." And then Casey signed it for me after the show. But that was cool, getting to meet HWK. It's Harry Wayne Casey, not Dwayne Casey. Goddamn, Kevin. Fuck. Mick Foley stories. Yes, but too numerous to get into here. I am part of two of his trivia questions. Both times he retired and came back, I was the one that got Sacco. Both times. So that's a short story, but there are more. Do I still talk to Jim Duggan? I don't recall that I've ever talked to Jim Duggan. So, no. Best talent never got called up. I'll have to think on that one. We'll talk about that on a bowling alley sometime. Because everybody I fucking managed got called up. I don't know who that deserved it didn't. 54 people that I was involved with got called up to the WWE. Duggan, best talent that never got called up. Yeah, I don't think that happened. Have you listened to the best new podcast, Ringside Podcast? Cheap plug. No, Daniel, I haven't. And yes, that was a very cheap plug. We're on here promoting me, not you. God damn it, Daniel. Matter of fact, Daniel and I have been friends for a long time. I think I used to didn't I do a hotline with you back in the day? Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like I did. But I've known Daniel forever, and quit plugging your goddamn show on my deal here. Opinions on Teddy Hart. I just briefly met him a time or two. A lot of people hated him. I had some talks with him and tried to give him some good advice. He didn't obviously follow any of it. So, yeah, not really opinion one way or the other. Biggest ripoff artist in wrestling history. Me. China thoughts. China was very nice to me and my son. Her and Triple H come backstage one night and had a long talk with my son. My son used to use Triple H in his video games, and that flattered Hunter. And he and China come out and had a long talk with Chris backstage in Cincinnati one night. So my only thoughts of her were good, but poor China had her issues. Okay, yeah, Daniel does recall that. So probably Daniel is responsible for me doing podcasts, because my not podcast, but my hotline appearances on his show were real popular, and then everybody was doing goddamn hotlines, and I was doing everybody's show, and he kind of got that going for me, of me being on these wrestling talk deals. Biggest wasted talent, Sylvester Turkey. Sylvester should have been a lot more than what they ever got out of him. Let's see. You still going, Star Maker. James Lowe, you're a professional. I don't understand your question. You still going, Star Maker. I don't know what your question is. Rephrase the question. Here's a plug for you. Lunch and dinner with Jimmy and Kenny, April 29th. Well, see, this is my shit. You can plug my shit. So, yes, hopefully we're going to round up a few more people to PayPal me at kennybolin@msn.com, to where you will come and see me and Jim Cornette at the Golden Corral. We're going to tell stories for... Why am I telling stories here? Fuck, come there and here. You know what? If you got a question I haven't answered for you, come to the Jim Cornette, Kenny Bolin, my buffet with Bolin, featuring Jim Cornette, part 2, by the way. And if I don't cover your stories or questions here, come there, and I promise you we'll do it there. We'll have all kinds of time. We're going to be there for roughly 3 hours, and then we're going to sell gimmicks after the show, and we'll talk to you individually during that time. But you'll be on the DVD, and you'll help me. You'll help the Camp Corral kids, and I encourage you. There's only 25 or 30 tickets left, so order those tickets. Come and see me there if you live in the little... I got people coming from Connecticut, Florida, West Virginia, Louisiana, Missouri, so I don't give a shit where you live. If you're on one side of the Mississippi or the other, come and see us. Take a 3-day weekend. Come and see us. And well, I promise you we'll have some fun. Opinion on Mike Cruel. Don't know a thing about him, so I can't give you an opinion on him. Got to go now, Kenny. Who gives a shit? I'm here. Who gives a shit, Andrew, that you have to go? Get out of here. Good riddance. What the fuck you got to do that's better than sitting here talking to me? Get out of my chat room, Aaron, for crying out loud. Off to bed, good night. You're leaving, you're going to bed instead of... God damn, I'm killing the room. They're leaving me left and right. Buy Kenny's book. Thank you, Travis, I agree. As a matter of fact, buy it from me. Don't be a cheap ass like Travis was and buy it off Amazon. Buy a signed version, and you can even get the version that's signed by me and Cornette for $39.95. And the reason it's a little higher is because Jimmy did that to help me raise more money to handle my medications and shit that insurance hasn't covered. Because many of you may or may not know, I was pretty much in the hospital from Thanksgiving, November the 8th, on through Thanksgiving, through Christmas, through New Year's, and I got out in mid-January and was on home health care for about another 45 days after that. So, bills piled up. But insurance did cover the majority of it. We're just trying to help out with what they didn't, and I got certain medications I got to take that insurance does not cover. So that's why Jim and various others are trying to help me out with that. Not going to beg. That's why we offer you merchandise or do these shows or whatever. I'm not putting up a GoFundMe account and just say, here, hand me money for fucking nothing. If you help me, I try to help you. Let's see. Buy Beats shirts and books. Yeah, I agree, Levi. Levi's bought his fair share, so it's time the rest of you do it. Favorite angle? Come to the show, and I'll answer that for you because that's too long to get into here. But it involves Jackie Fargo and Jerry Lawler. I'll tell you that much. And if you can't come to my show with me and Cornette, ask me on the bowling alley sometime. Kenny, you're awesome. Been praying for you. One of the good guys in wrestling. And that's pretty good coming from a guy who's been a heel for 30 years. So I appreciate that. Let's see. How's Rico? He's doing better. I've covered that earlier in here, but he's doing better last I heard. We will talk again soon. We remember the vacuum. Yeah, the wound vac. Yeah, I remember it too. Glad that damn thing's gone. That was the feature of Jimmy's show. I'm almost laying down here taking a nap, guys. I got real comfortable there. Well, I'm leaning in so I can read my lower monitor. This is my bigger monitor up here, but that would look weird if I did the whole show doing that, so I try to look direct. Where are the dogs? Both of them are back there. There's Two Cow, and Chocodile was probably on those pillows back there somewhere. And Moo Cow is asleep in the living room. So all three dogs are here. 1 + 1 = I don't know. Rest in peace, Owen Hart. What are your thoughts on him? I've covered that earlier. We talked about Owen quite a bit, and I loved Owen, as you well know. And not a classer act than Owen Hart, so just for Kevin there to let him know about that. When are we going out to supper? This is from Joe Blanton. I don't know. When are you inviting me, and when are you taking me, and what is your budget? You let me know. If you live here in the area, we may have to work on that. Do you remember Roka? As a matter of fact, I wrote Roka today. I saw her on Twitter. She's got a Twitter account, and clicked her and wrote her a short note. She was one of my favorite females here because I just freaking loved her look. And she's changed that around a little bit in the WWE. But when she was here, she was hot as we had. And she was here during the time of Maurice, Mickey James, Beth Phoenix, countless others. And I just loved Roka. So loved Roka out there, but apparently she's not listening tonight. Thoughts on Randy Hales? I like Randy. Randy and I are good friends. We've been friends for a long time. We write each other from time to time. And Randy's always been a good guy to me. So I like Randy Hales. Bolin for president. It'd beat what we got now. We wouldn't be facing World War fucking III if I was president. Any Bill Barron's or Burt Prentice thoughts? Cover me on that at the Golden Corral deal or on the bowling alley, because those are a little lengthy to get into. But yes, I have stories about both. And matter of fact, I'm good friends with both. Very, very, very good friends with them. Rosa Mendez, yeah, Rosa Mendez is Roka. That's correct. I just got a new credit card. Dinners are on me. My choice, though. Well, it depends on what your choice is. You're asking me if I want to go to dinner. You ain't going to take me someplace I don't want to go. So you give me the options, and if I like any of those, I may take you up on it. Let's see. If you could manage anyone in WWE, who would you pick? I'd like to feud with Shinsuke. That would be the fun. If I was managing Cena as a heel against Shinsuke, that would be a fucking blast. So that answers that. What about Prince and his concussion? He's doing better. Do you talk about that story when you crushed him with the bat? Try not to. And my internet keeps going out. Well, Kevin, get a better internet. Yeah, I hit my son in the head. I was at a softball game with Kevin that he had orchestrated. I think it was for Humana. Any short stories on Rick Rogers? I'll get into. I do, but that'll have to be covered on a bowling alley. And so my son is standing behind me, and I'm on deck getting ready to hit. And I think Kevin will tell you I was a pretty good softball player too, and a power hitter who could run, and was a good addition to most teams. Should have played Major League Baseball. And so I've got like 3-4 bats in my hand getting loose on deck, so the bat is lighter in my hands when I go up to hit. And I'm swinging them some bitches for all they're worth. And Christopher stepped into my path, and I hit him right in the jaw with 4 aluminum ball bats, and I fucked him up. And needless to say, we had to go to Toys R Us, and I had to buy him a lot of shit that day because I felt like shit. But Kevin will tell you I completed the at-bat and doubled the left field. So, that was the dickest father mood I ever made. Any other decent dad would have scooped his kid up and ran to the hospital. But I knew my team needed me. So I took my at-bat, doubled the left, got a pinch runner, and went and took Chris to the doctor. So, yeah, I don't tell that story often because it don't make me look too good. Softball game with Sid there. No, I never played softball with Sid, but I was at a lot of wrestling shows Sid was supposed to be at that he missed because of a softball game. Let's see. Late arrival, but glad to see. Hello, Russell. Glad you made it. What is your status with weight loss? I'm down a total of 130 pounds over the last 11, 12 months. And I'll start weight loss surgery maybe in about the next 2 to 3 months. So for not to have had the surgery yet, we're going in the right direction. I keep asking long questions, apparently. Can you call me a fucking idiot? Frank Parrish, you're a fucking idiot. There you go. So that takes care of that. So that'll teach you to ask these long-ass questions. Who are the worst WWE wrestlers? Well, a lot of people think Roman Reigns. I don't watch enough of the product to really know who's the worst and who's not. I just know I like Shinsuke. I used to watch to see Idol on there, and I've really watched a little WWE over the last 5 years. It's really not fair for me to comment. But there have been some bad ones, and I'll think about that, and once again, that'll be answered on an upcoming alley. What's the Instagram count on Harry's posting pictures of his dog? I don't know. Ask Harry. I don't know. Have you kept any souvenirs of yours? Well, I've got one briefcase left. I had 2 major ones that I've used through the years. One of them Cornette has now. That's been covered on Jimmy's show as to how he ended up with it. A guy named Ape Wilson paid $1,000 for both my crown and my briefcase. And then the sheriffs come over here to pick it up to tell me they was going to put it in safekeeping, and turned out it was two friends of Cornette that had him, that he sent over here to get them, and Jimmy now has them in his vaults, we'll say. So I don't have them. Great to hear. Would you consider doing DDP yoga? I don't think it's for me. I don't think that I'm dedicated or disciplined enough to do that every day, even though I've heard that it's worked for a lot of people. And matter of fact, it's been offered to me, but he lives in Atlanta and I live here. I don't trust myself to be dedicated enough to do it because I was so damn bad off, guys. I barely had the energy to walk across the damn living room floor, more or less do DDP yoga. So I'm sure he would try to convince me otherwise, and he already has. I just don't feel it's for me. Not that it wouldn't help me. I just know I'm not dedicated enough to his program to do it. So no offense to him. I just know me. Alice Ratley, that question flew by. Thoughts on new divisions in WWE? Nah, I don't like divisions that well. But power hitter, could run, great glove and arm. Had that great catch in center field at that time, Kevin. One of my favorite plays I ever made. Kenny pulled a Willie Mays catch. Yeah, where I ran through the fence. Got up and threw the guy out going to second, and then ran my ass off back inside to the infield. I was so pumped and ecstatic over the play I'd made. And I was blown the fuck up, and thank God I hit a home run because I would have hated to have had to run after that because I was blown up. Travis Winburn, hey, man. Hey, that was easy. Working out is too much work. I agree. If you could pick any wrestler to manage the feud against Undertaker, who would it be? I'd have to think on that one. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. Are you top or bottom bunk bed guy? This weight, I better be the bottom because I pity the fucker if I'm on the top. If shit goes south, the guy on the bottom's in deep shit, and we're probably going to have a funeral for him. Best wrestling stable ever. Kind of hard to argue with the Four Horsemen. But Bolin Services had a hell of a run there on our level where I had Rico Constantino, John Cena, Sylvester Turkey, Sean O'Hare, Bull Buchanan, and there might have been another one or two mixed in there, but those were the features. And all of those guys went on to make big fucking money in the WWE. So kind of hard to argue with that stable either here at OVW. I'd put them up against a lot of them. But as far as national televised stables, it's kind of hard to argue with the Four Horsemen. Biggest professional regret? I'd have to think on that because I don't have many regrets. What is? I sound like Donald Trump there, don't I? And that sucks. What is your most satisfying moment personally in the wrestling business? Working with Bobby Heenan. That was probably my favorite thing I ever did. Working with Stone Cold and The Undertaker was great too, but Bobby Heenan would top those. Your favorite OVW wrestler to never make it? I've been asked that earlier on here, and they all made it that I managed. I can't think of anybody deserving that didn't get to go. Somebody can call me out on that, and I'm feeling good, Chris. Thank you for asking. That's been asked many times here, but thank you. Did you ever get to work with Jim Ross? Yes, Jim called a couple of my matches, and he called the match where I turned on Cena, to where it looked like we were kind of having our spiff at the time, and then Cena refused my help for a match, and when I came out to view the match, he waved me into the ring to help him, to where he held the wrestler, and I was going to clock him with my briefcase. So when I drew back to hit the wrestler ducked, and everybody saw that I had time to respond and knew he had ducked, and then I cranked up and knocked the shit out of Cena with it, and Jim Ross lost his fucking mind. So, yeah, Jim called. I had 2 or 3 matches that Jim was involved in and was interviewed by him. And so, yeah, Jim and I have a history. Let's see. God rest Sean. Yeah, poor Sean. God, I hated hearing that. Top 5 wrestling managers. Bobby Heenan, me. God, that's it. I don't know. Let me think on that. I guess Cornette, even though I had a top 10 list once and didn't put him in it. I guess you'd have to put him in there just for his mouth alone. But I think I'm the best at developing talent. And that's a shoot. When it comes to people most of the guys I got were from dirt. They had 5 to no matches before they got to me. So when it comes to developing talent, I think I was the best. As far as being entertaining on television, you can't argue with Bobby Heenan, Jimmy Cornette, um, Jimmy Hart. Of course, I'm always going to be loyal to the Southern guys, and I don't know how Downtown Bruno ever made it. So let's see, how many times have you done a dine and dash? Never, because I never had the guts to do it that way. I was always, I guess you would call it, semi-famous enough that if I wanted a meal for free, I could call them up and offer them some autographed pictures or DVDs or someone else's autographed pictures from when they were all here from WWE. I never really had to do that. And I haven't paid for a meal in a restaurant in probably 17 years. Either someone else was buying it or it was covered because I was a guest of the place to begin with. Even today, I've been retired for 5 years, but my son will tell you, we do not pay to go out and eat. That does not happen. So there's that question for you. What are your thoughts? But no, I've never dined and dashed because that's stealing. That's being a thief, and I don't do that. Gary Hart was the same. I never knew Gary Hart that well. Met him a few times, but I did not know him that well. If you got healthy enough, would you get back manning? Guys, I'm pushing 60 years old. Some people have to know when to walk away. I would do a one-time match, especially with Jerry Lawler. Maybe something involving Cornette, but nothing on a permanent, everyday level. It's just ridiculous. There's enough young talent out there that surely, and plus they don't really hire managers that much anymore. If Brock Lesnar knew how to talk, Paul Heyman wouldn't have a job. Best manager of all time and best thing OVW had. Well, I guess my best manager of all time, I've already said that'd be Heenan. Best in OVW, I think it'd be hard to argue against me. Best thing OVW had. Guess it'd be John Cena. He made the most money out of all of us. Neither has Nova. I don't know. I must have missed an earlier question, and I will not even talk about that piece of shit here. Anybody that would wish me dead, the day that he wished me dead, the day I basically got out of the hospital because he swerved a Trump bet that he said we made. And then on Christmas Eve, he wrote Jimmy Cornette's wife and wished that I would die. So, fuck him. And that's the last we'll hear about him here today. Tracy Smothers stories. Tracy's a good guy, good Lord. There's a lot of stories about Tracy Smothers, all too long to get into here, but we are both mutual admirers of each other. Both of us are fond of each other. Tracy's a hell of a good guy, and he tells you how he stands. I meant that as that name I said I won't say, not paying for, oh, good God. No, he stole meals. He conned people into meals. People that didn't think they were paying for him paid for him. No one has ever thought I was paying for a meal and they say, oh, Bolin, are you going to pay for your meal? No, you are. No, that fucking don't happen. You don't do that. And that's what he was known for, all over the fucking Northeast. So, like I said, I'm not going to talk about him anymore, even though I just did. But I didn't say his name. Was Bolin Services ever in any other promotions besides? No, not as Bolin Services, no. Just as Kenny Starmaker Bolin, but never as a group. Russell says bang. All right, Russell, bang. Don't know what the fuck that means. Let's see, how to get into running on the screen operation of a wrestling company. Nah, I got no desire to do that. It's like I tell everybody around here that's running shit wrestling organizations that want me to be a part of them. If I thought there was any money to be made in independent wrestling in the Louisville area, me and Cornette would be doing it. And the fact that we don't should tell people that two people that are as respected as me and Jimmy when it comes to wrestling, and we're not doing it, there's a reason for it. Respect for the business, respect for the way it used to be, and there's no fucking money to be made. And not without fucking the boys. There's no money to be made. Me and Jimmy might be able to make some money, but the talent who also deserves money wouldn't be able to make any because there's just not enough to be made. So that's why we don't do it. That's part of the reason. Who wants to have sex with me? He wants to have sex with you. Well, being as the word he is involved, no. Not my thing. Is Ian Rotten, is he the biggest shit and piece of shit in wrestling? Got to put him top 5 and number 1 in this area. He got banned from Kentucky for a reason. I got no use for him. And once I left, I said I'd never be back, and I didn't. And once I left OVW, I said I'd never be back, and I didn't. So I'm pretty good at keeping my word. I can honestly say I've had the best times in OVW when you and Cornette were there. Well, I appreciate that. But you won't be having those good times with me anymore. Cornette went back a few times, even though he said he wouldn't, but I kept my word. Don't make me call DDP. All right, well, I didn't make you call him. The champ is here. How you been, man? Okay, Johnny Cash. Wasn't expecting to hear from Johnny Cash today. Can you tell the difference between Rick Brady and Brady Hicks yet? No, I fuck it up all the time. I don't know one from the other. I keep fucking it up. I sent my buddy the clip of, I can't read that part because it hasn't scrolled up yet. Guys, we're going to do this for 7 more minutes. We're going to go to 8:50 because I really didn't plan to be on this long. But I have been, and I hope everybody's had a good time. And we'll do this more often. And I think the questions are starting to slow up a little bit anyway. So we'll do this 7 more minutes. So if you have any questions, it's going a little slower now to where I can read them. And I can't believe people are leaving this. Good God, I feel terrible. We might just do this 2 more minutes if there ain't no more questions. So no, the champ is here. Hello, Johnny Cash. Lewis Johnston, I sent my buddy the clip of when you shooting on CM Punk on the Power. Oh, God. Yes, I'd love to hear that again. If you have that clip, send that to me. I think that was on Cornette's show. Cornette fucking loved that. So if you have that clip, send it to me. I'd love to hear what I said again. But I was talking about a Power Ranger and CM Punk and how bad that Power Ranger would whip Punk's ass. And which apparently I was right, by the way. So send me that clip to my Facebook inbox. I'd love to hear that again because I forgot what all I said. But I know a lot of people liked it. When are you getting married? Well, if my doctors let me go to Manila this coming, looks like October or November, probably be pretty shortly after that. We've been together now for 4 years. Haven't got to see her in quite some time due to the complications of getting her over here. So we figured out it's probably going to be a lot easier for me to go there. My business will probably dwindle up because it cost a fuckload to mail shit from the Philippines. So maybe I can find a good internet connection over there somewhere and we can still do this stuff. But looks like my business is going to die when I go over there. But I do want to be with her, and I don't know how many years I got left. So, now y'all gonna make me sad. Let's see, David Caudell. Jim Ferguson, when the WWE goes down, who will fill the void? Maybe then the independents can rise again because I don't think anybody else is strong enough to take over for WWE, and that includes ROH and TNA. So, but there's enough monkeys in the closet that are ready to take Vince's job, such as Triple H, such as Stephanie, such as Shane, and I'm sure there's others in the wings we don't know about that. We'll keep that going, so the death of Vince or anybody else is not going to change much there. Might change the direction of the show a little bit, and hell, who knows, that might be for the better, because it may not be as stale. So, but no, there's no other companies going to take their place. Not in my lifetime. Thanks for spending the time. Thank you, Frank. Happy to do it. We'll do it again soon, I promise. When will we see Little Jimmy? I don't even see Little Jimmy anymore. Little Jimmy, he's got issues. So I don't see him too much anymore. So you would move there. Yes, it does look like I would move to the Philippines. I would probably come back to the United States every couple of years, depending how long I live. I will go after the weight loss surgery, and hopefully that'll add a few years to my life. And we'll see. And it also, I have to make sure my doctors will allow me to go to begin with, or we'll have to start the pursuit of trying to get Lena over here again, which has been very easy for me to go there as long as doctors will let me fly that far. It's 25 hours, counting stops and layovers and everything, and they're worried about blood clots developing and all that shit. But hopefully after the surgery, that'll be far less of a risk. Who was your favorite valet? Nurse Lulu, Miss Blue, Sosei. I love Sosei, Lulu, God, but Sosei was not technically my valet. Lulu was, and Miss Blue, and Lulu wins that hands down. Lulu was great. I loved her. And a gorgeous little girl, too. Should have married her. Probably because she wouldn't marry me. So would you move? Yes, I'd move there. Please come to Charlotte Fan Fest. The guys, believe it or not, that is under consideration. Thank you for asking that, Victoria. We are talking about if I'm still here, if my doctors don't let me go to Manila. I doubt I'll be able to go this August, but next year I may. We'll see about this August. It's not out of the woods yet, but we'll see. Just stick with the program. Yeah. Well, we're planning all that, Jim. We're going to stick with it. It's 8:48. We got 2 more minutes. So if you got any final questions, we got 2 more minutes. And guys, I've had a blast chatting with you. I didn't plan on being on this long. I didn't think there'd be that many of you here. So thank 650 comments so far. So thank you much, and I appreciate everybody coming in. And for no advertising, this ain't too bad because I just decided to do it, and here y'all were. So we'll advertise the next one, give y'all a day's notice, and then we'll see how that does. Andy Griffith, my #1 fan, gets in with 2 minutes to go. Way to go, Andy. Andy's bought a lot of merchandise from me, Beats by Bolin. You want to know how my headphones are, write Andy Griffith and ask him. Paul RJ, would Lawler start up Memphis again? Would it be a force? Probably would. Not to the level that it once was, but anything Jerry Lawler does in Memphis is going to have a certain level of success, especially as long as he's been away from running wrestling there. USWA not, I don't understand your question, Joe. Not itis? I don't know what you're asking me. I would definitely buy a VIP pass for that. Okay, great. I'm going to have the gastric sleeve, it looks like, in 2 or 3 months. I wasn't going to do it, but I think if I want to lose the rest of the weight I need to lose in a decent amount of time, I don't really have any options. Was I upset about The Undertaker? No, it was time to go. It was time to go. I mean, I'm still not convinced we're never going to see him again, but, but no, it was time. It was time. I don't like who he had to job out to, for damn sure, but apparently, he didn't have a problem with it or he wouldn't have done it. Can't remember if I asked, but figured out if Cameron's date to OVW was real yet. No. He still has not seen this girl's house. And this has been for like 4 months. So it's there you go. That's my answer. Are your Beats by Bolin available in the wireless form? Yes, I mentioned that earlier. This is the first year I've had the wireless Beats. They're $59.95, and they look just like the old Beats, only these are wireless, and they're great, man. Matter of fact, my son and daughter-in-law are jamming to them on the way to Arkansas right now. I'm having the sleeve either in May or June. I'm probably looking maybe around the same timeline on that. I want to do it after Jim and I do the buffet with Bolin because I'd like to eat at this one. Let's see. Hope you're doing good. I am. When is the last time you did anything wrestling related besides a podcast? Brady, one of the Bradys I deal with, Brady Hicks or one of them Bradys, I did a show for in Southern Indiana where I did the commentary on their pay-per-view. And that is the last thing wrestling related I did, and that was a few years ago. And that was it, guys. Other than podcasts, that's it. Have you ever had a mullet? I would have to say no. Lawler has, but I haven't. Even though my hair has gotten a little long in the back, it was not mullet form. Let's see, you're trying to get these last questions. Rollins beating Taker was bullshit. I agree. But they're the ones that had to go along with it. Roman Reigns, no, I do not think Roman Reigns deserved to retire the Taker, but that wasn't my decision. It was Vince McMahon's and the Taker's, or it wouldn't have happened. Well, guys, we went a minute over. It's 8:51, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up now. Thank you very much for all the questions. If I didn't get your questions now, make sure to check us out on the Bolin Alley next Thursday. Probably be 7 o'clock. Those are live, by the way, and I think you can write in questions, and I think you can even phone into them, but check with Joe Cronin on that. Joe Cronin's the host of my show. And let's see, ever end up seeing more of the OVW women than they wanted? I don't know if I understand that question. Bert is doing Monday Night Memories in June in Jackson. We'll see. I'm not sure if I'll do that or not. Not sure. Well, thank you for everybody rushing in here with these final questions after it slowed up. Thank you, Jim Ferguson. Happy trails to you as well. Thank you, Wayne Noonan. Thank you, Jason Kinnear. Jason. Jason is not the guy that owns Clarksville Seafood, but I did talk about Jason's son earlier and how I was not happy about how he was treated. Jason, I don't think you got to hear that story, but I did some bad mouthing of Clarksville Seafood, and because I didn't like how your son was treated there, and it really pisses me off. But Jason's a good guy. I love Jason. And cheers to you, Mr. Kinnear. But that was Jason's son that I was talking about earlier that really pissed me off. Idol versus Lawler. I've seen a few of those. They were all great. Idol and Lawler. They could probably still put on a great show. Maybe at Monday Night Memories. If that happens, me and my son will probably go. But thanks to all of you. Thank you, Jason. I love you, boy. You're a good guy. Unlike some other people in your family. And guys, I guess we better sign it off here, but thank you very much, and greatly appreciate you tuning in. Spread the word, and for coming on here this late with no advertising. I appreciate the turnout. We had damn near 700 comments, so that's not so bad. And thank you, Victoria. And spread the word. We'll do this again soon. I probably way overstayed my welcome on this, but y'all kept asking questions, so I tried to answer them. So we'll do it again soon. Maybe make a monthly thing out of this or whatever. And I love you guys. Support me. I appreciate your support. If I got any merchandise you want, my book, we'll get a last plug of the book in here. I probably screwed you too. I have that signed by me and Cornette for $39.95. If you just want it signed by me, it's $26.95. And those sales help me tremendously at keeping my meds paid and all that good stuff. Thank you, Ray. Appreciate it. Wayne, obviously. And buy my Beats by Bolin, buy my T-shirts. I don't have a shitload of T-shirts left, but if you have a request for some, I got a few left, and we'll reorder some when I need them. And what else have I got? The DVDs. For those of you that are coming to see me and Jimmy, that'll be part 2. This one here is part 1, already signed by me. Jimmy's on the back cover where he belongs, already signed by Cornette. Those are $20, signed by me and Jimmy. So that's Breakfast with Bolin part 1, and we're also going to do a part 2. And do make sure to come and see us at the Taylorsville Road Golden Corral, April the 29th, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. We'll hang around, sign autographs, and sell some merchandise after that. And really look forward to y'all coming out. We need to sell about 25 or 30 more tickets. Buy the 2 Cal. He's back here asleep. He don't give a shit, so it's Chogadile. And spread the word. We need to see you guys out there. And I got a new thing I'm going to try. I did it last night. My phone has a thing to where you can write your autograph on it and do it on a black background and in like 10 different colors. And I did that for a fan last night, and he said it made his day, and he posted it on Twitter. And I'm thinking of raising money for the Camp Corral kids. Is for fans that want those, if they PayPal me $10 to do my autograph on a phone and send it to them, it'll be lit up in a different color or whatever, and I can personalize it. And I'm thinking to raise money for the Camp Corral kids, I'm thinking of doing that. So follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I'm going to think about it for a few days and how we need to do that. And it sounds pretty easy to me. You pay me $10 and I send you an autograph with a black background in my handwriting. I just write it on the phone with a little magic pen I've got. And I think that'll be a good way to raise some money for the Camp Corral kids. And for those of you that can't be there, it'll be a way to support us and help us out with that. And something else I'm looking at doing, if you can't come, the tickets are $39.95. If you want to donate the $39.95, we will make sure that a person who can't normally afford to come will be sponsored by you, and that way we still get to help the kids. It'll help me. and then one or two people, whatever donation you make, will get to come to that event that ordinarily couldn't afford to come. Because I do get that all the time. They'll write me, well, Kenny, I just can't afford $39, or I can't afford $80 for both of us to come. So if any of you out there got some extra bucks and it ain't that big a deal and doesn't kill your bank account, and you would like to help somebody go and still help me, help the Camp Corral kids, and then help some less fortunate people be able to go see that show, we can do that too. Just let me know in the notes, hey, Kenny, I can't come, but please make sure that one or two other people get to come in my place. And we'll do that too. So, and we still got 3 weeks before the show. It's the 7th now. The show, so we got 22 days left, a little over 3 weeks. So guys, God, I've been here a long time. Where can you order my first DVD? Travis, just write my inbox on either Facebook or Twitter. Tell me what you want. I'll give you the price and the shipping. The DVDs signed by me and Cornette are $20, and then you just PayPal me the money and I ship it to you. So other than that, guys, that's it. I better get off of here while I can. Love you all. Thank everybody for being a part of this, and we'll definitely do this again in a month or less, I promise you. And buy the microphones too. The microphones are great. The microphones are great. The microphones are great. See, you get the two different sounds. So y'all get it. And I think you guys are probably sick of me by now. So, in saying that, I did say good day.